for Lake Macquarie.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, my question without notice is to the Minister for Planning. Minister, given that the Independent Planning Commission recently approved the expansion of Eraring Power Station ash dam with a condition for Origin Energy to reuse 80% of all coal ash generated at the site by 2021, what will the government be doing to ensure Origin can meet that target?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. May I thank the member for Lake Macquarie for his question. The member for Lake Macquarie is an indefatigable advocate for his community and is very vigilant to look at these sorts of applications to ensure that they meet the expectations of his community. Lake Macquarie, as members of this House well know, is a beautiful electorate that displays quite graphically both the benefits and the challenges associated with industrial development. It has a strong manufacturing base, great manufacturing or industrial heritage, but also has some challenges, for example, perhaps most poignantly illustrated by the Pasminco smelter site, of some of the challenges where development is not, where the consequences of development are not thought about at the time. So I've certainly appreciated the opportunity to work with the member for Lake Macquarie and with my office in relation to his vigilance in these sorts of matters. As members of this House would be aware, the Eraring Power Station is one of the, if not the largest in the country. It was recently expanded less than 10 years ago. It has a rated capacity of almost 3,000 megawatts. There was a modification to the power station made by the operator and proponent Origin Energy. They made an application in August 2018 to expand its ash dam so that it can continue producing energy at the power station. The department completed its assessment of the merits of the proposal in early October last year and referred the application to the Independent Planning Commission for determination. During its assessment, the IPC carefully balanced the environmental factors with the economic and social considerations associated with the application and ultimately approved the project subject to conditions. It's worth noting, Mr Speaker, the IPC made a swift but also carefully considered decision, providing its approval just before Christmas. In under 3 months then, the IPC came to a view that the modification application put forward by the applicant was acceptable and, as I mentioned, approved it. Importantly, in making its decision, the Independent Planning Commission has taken an existing condition of consent referred to by the member for Lake Macquarie and strengthened it. An existing condition of consent required the preparation and implementation of a long-term ash management strategy with the goal of 80% reuse of ash by December 2021. In its approval, the Independent Planning Commission has strengthened this target to make it a mandatory goal for Origin to reach that 80% reuse or recycling of ash from a target from the power station by the 31st of December 2021. It's also required Origin to begin planning for rehabilitation of the land and the ash dam following its scheduled closure in 2032. The New South Wales Government, as members will be aware, recently commissioned the Productivity Commission to undertake a review of the IPC to ensure that its processes are as efficient as possible. This, Mr Speaker, is a great example of how the IPC can make a quick decision that balances positive environmental outcomes with economic and social benefits of development. With regard to implementing the IPC's strengthened condition, it's my expectation that Origin Energy, in agreeing that the 80% target is achievable, will implement this target and exceed it wherever possible. There are plenty of ways to reuse coal ash, and the IPC identifies these in its statement of reasons. For instance, there are innovative new products and technological opportunities under investigation, such as for road base, pavements, precast building materials, as well as geopolymers. In response to the member's question, in the first instance, the department will review the applicant's long-term ash management strategy to ensure that their proposed program for reaching the 80% recycling goal is feasible and achievable. Origin Energy must provide annual reports to the department on its progress in achieving this goal, so there will be opportunities to monitor it along the way. These reports must demonstrate progress of reuse and recycling of ash to the satisfaction of the Planning Secretary. Should the department not be satisfied or have concerns about the progress of recycling coal ash, the department will work with Origin Energy and the community to help achieve the 80% goal within the timeframe indicated in the condition. Origin Energy has agreed to this 80% mandatory goal, and in receiving their approval, it's my expectation they will reach it as swiftly as possible. The government is committed to encouraging greater reuse of resources, which is a great source of manufacturing jobs and a big part of our plan to facilitate economic transition to more sustainable forms of development and human progress. The IPC's condition is consistent with this objective, and it's our expectation that it is met.
Member for